For answers, we turn to Florida Republican Congressman Connie Mack. Congressman Mack, it's a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
It's great to be with you again, Judge. Thank you.
Of course. Well, things seem to be happening very, very quickly on Capitol Hill these days. As everybody's trying to rush towards the magical date that Secretary of the Treasury Geithner has said the government will default if they can't borrow more money on Tuesday, August 2nd. Where do things stand now? Does it look like the debt ceiling will go up? Or does it look like a bizarre combination of small government Republicans and big government Democrats will keep the Speaker from getting his way?
Well, you know, I don't know. If I had a crystal ball, that would be great, but I don't. But here's what I do know is I won't vote for a plan unless we balance the budget. I mean, look, the idea that we're going to continue to raise the debt ceiling when we don't have the money is crazy to me. I just don't know why we would continue to raise the debt ceiling without a way to balance our budget. And everyone at home needs to understand that we are spending roughly $1.5 trillion more than we bring in. And none of these plans that we've talked about balance the budget by cutting spending.
I think the key to what you said is the last phrase. None of these plans balances the budget. All of them, or both of them, there's really right now the Speaker's and Harry Reid's, increase the deficit. In the case of the Speaker, $1.5 trillion. In the case of Senator Reid, $2.5 trillion. Do other Republicans agree with you? Or is Republican leadership going around twisting arms and making all kinds of promises to get them to vote for something which is against their own instincts and against their own values?
Well, I know that there are a number of members who agree with me. Or I should say, and we all agree. But no, the Speaker and the leadership is doing what they think is right to get the votes for the Speaker's bill. Look, all I can do is make the argument that what we should be doing is balancing the budget. We cannot continue to spend $1.5 trillion more than we bring in. We need to cut spending. This isn't a revenue problem. This is government can't control itself. It can't stop spending money. We need to balance the budget before we allow any kind of increase in the debt ceiling.
That's why this is such an important and crucial debate and such a crucial time in American political history, because the Republicans, even the small government Republicans, of which you are foremost, have the power within their own hands to force the government to live within its own means simply by voting down any and every effort to let the government borrow more money. But what I want you to tell me is this. I want you to wear your other hat. Not just because we're friends and I'm playing games, but I want you to tell me, what do these big government Republicans say? What would John Boehner say if he came on the show? What would Eric Cantor say? What conceivable argument are they making in favor of letting this runaway crazy government down at the White House spend another $1.5 trillion more dollars, which they don't have?
You know what, Judge? I've been in politics a few years now, and one of the things that I think I've learned better is not to try to speak for others. So I'm not gonna try to answer that for Speaker Boehner and for the Majority Leader and others. What I will say is this: if we pass a bill that raises the debt ceiling by $2.4 trillion or anything like that, that means we accept the fact that we're going to have a $17 trillion debt. It is our debt to income or revenue ratio is so out of balance that if the government was an individual, they could not get a credit card. We can no longer continue to let the debt grow like it is. We have to balance the budget.
Congressman Connie Mack, keep up the good fight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Judge.